Hello, hello, it's Carrie with Lemmy Fox Jewelry and Art, back with the next video in our Nancy Drew and Hardy Boys Junk Journal series. Today I'm going to be showing you my process of sewing the pages into the books. I'm going to preface this video with a little factoid about myself. I am a little technologically challenged, and so when I actually started recording this video, I thought I was recording when in actuality I was not. So what I actually ended up recording was my process of gathering together my supplies, which could be helpful. So I have some embroidery thread. I have my Tim Holtz pokey tool is what I call it. I also have my Tim Holtz ruler and a pencil, as well as a few mini binder clips. I was going to use my Tim Holtz ruler to show you how I make the marks on my cardstock so that I can use those as a guide. I did manage to record the part of me cutting down the paper, and so here I am cutting down this wide piece to be 1 3/4 inch wide by 7 3/8 inches long. The smaller piece is 3/4 wide by 7.5 inches tall. So basically these two pieces of cardstock are going to be your guide on where you're going to put your holes. The bigger one for inside the signatures and the little one on the outside or the spine. Unfortunately, I do not have this process recorded. If you are interested in that process, please let me know in the comments below, and I will try to post a video on that as soon as possible. I'm going to start by putting my little guide into the spine, and I will go ahead and poke my holes. Once I've done that, I'll go ahead and take that out. And now I'm going to grab my first signature and go ahead and make sure that the pages are exactly how I want them in there, and grab my other guide, line it up, and put it on clip it onto the pages, and go ahead and make the holes. One tip that I do is, if you'll notice, when I put the guide in, I leave the clips, the wire of the clips up, and then after I've poked the holes, I put the wires of the clip down. So here I am measuring out my embroidery floss, and I ended up doing 4 passes, 1, 2, 3, 4. It did end up being a little bit long, but if you want, you can use that as a guide. As you can see, I did do 2 of them, and that's because we're doing 2 signatures. Embroidery thread. Now that I have my embroidery thread measured out, I'm going to go ahead and thread it in the needle. On this, we're going to start from the back. So we're going to start back here and go ahead and come on in. And pull out. Another tip here is that I do use my little clippy things to clip on the end to hold my embroidery thread from going too far. So after I've come up through the back, I'm going to go ahead and go up to the top and bring it on through. And then from there, I'll come back up through the middle. Okay. We'll go ahead and go on down through the bottom. Then up through the middle. Then I'm going to go ahead and tie it off. And take it back through the middle so that I can tie it off back there. We'll go ahead and release that. I'm gonna untie this just to doubly make sure. So now I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna clip it there. Now we're gonna do the same thing with the next set of signatures. First, I'm making sure that all of the pages are adjusted to where I want them. Next, I'm going to pop in my guide, and then I will poke the holes and set my clips. And now it's time to sew them in after I've threaded my needle. And just like the first signature, I'm making sure to start from the back in the middle, coming up through, then going up to the top and coming down, then coming back through the middle, which can be a challenge sometimes. Then going down through the bottom and coming back up through the middle of the signature. Tightening it up, tying it off. On the inside, pulling the needle back out through the middle and going out to the back. Tying it off in the back. It has been sewn in. I'm going to go ahead and do this last little knot. I think I'm going to knot them together and just cut these short. Wow. We are officially finished with doing that part. Whew. Okay, so for the Nancy Drew book, unfortunately, I did not record until I was at the second signature. So this is the only footage that I really have of the process. That said, the process is very similar from the Hardy Boys book, with the notable difference that we're going to make sure that our embroidery floss is long and comes out of the middle. Because of that, we are going to need to start by having our embroidery floss come from the middle and inside the book instead of the outside. I'm also going to do this in fast motion so that this video does not take too long. Now, first of all, you'll notice that, of course, I've cut down the embroidery thread to the length. And I will say that it was probably about 3 or 4 times the length of the book, just like I showed with the Hardy Boys book. Now, I am starting in the middle, in the front middle, and you'll notice that when I pulled my thread through, I made sure to leave a nice tail that goes down past the end of the book, and so that I can have something that I can put my charms on. Then I took it up the back and up to the top and came through the top. Now I've gone back down through the middle, and now I'm coming up through from the back from the bottom, and now I'm bringing this up through the middle one more time. Make sure not to loop it on anything. You're also going to want to make sure you get tightened up and everything. And then before you start to tie it off. But you do tie it off in the back, and then you bring it back through and you tie it off in the middle in the front. The last thing I'm going to do now is just to cut down the embroidery floss so that it is the same size as the first one. And now we're just going to take off these clippies and we're done. So that is that right there. So we've got these guys all sewn in. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put our closures on. So what I'm using are these little hair dewies. That's what I call them. They're just hair ties. I like to use this thickness of hair tie because they're not too bulky. I'm going to put this into the hole like so. So it's like this, and we're going to just take one side, loop it over just like that. And there we have this. Nancy Drew, I'll finish. I'm just going to go ahead and finish putting these elastics into these last 2 books. One of the nice things that I like about doing the closures this way is that they can actually be switched out. So if somebody gets this and wants to do something different, it's totally easy, totally doable. And another thing that I really, really like, is the fact that they are elastic, and so that leaves a lot of room for you to be able to expand. Now these guys are done. Thank you for watching and for all of your support. I hope you enjoyed this series. Please subscribe to my channel and give this a thumbs up. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Bye.